video addresses the North Carolina Math Standard 5NF7. Solve one-step word problems involving division of unit fractions by non-zero whole numbers and division of whole numbers by unit fractions using the area and length models and equations to represent the problem. This video explores the utilization of an area model to solve one-step word problems involving division of unit fractions by whole numbers. NF7 is a new concept for students as this is the first time that they are dividing with fractions. In both 3rd and 4th grade, students solved division problems involving whole numbers. Students learned that there were two types of division problems, those involving fair shares and those involving repeated subtraction. In 5th grade, students build on their work with these division problem types as they divide a unit fraction by a whole number. Note that this work is limited to a unit fraction. A unit fraction is a fraction that has 1 as the numerator. The focus of this work should be around using the area model to display division between a unit fraction by a whole number. The algorithm for dividing fractions should not be introduced in 5th grade. Dividing a unit fraction by whole numbers using the area model is the same process as displayed in part 1 of these videos. We are still trying to determine how many times a specific number will divide into another. However, with these specific problem types, instead of dividing a whole number, we are dividing unit fractions. Let's take a look at a story problem. Sarah has 1/3 pan of brownies. She wants to split them evenly between 4 people. How much of the whole pan would each person receive? When looking at this story problem, we know that Sarah has 1/3 pan of brownies. If I am going to use the area model to solve this problem, I would first begin by drawing 3 equal parts. Now, I want to shade in one part to illustrate that I only have 1/3. Next, I know that I am splitting the brownies equally between 4 people. Therefore, I would cut this representation into fourths. When I look back at the question, I notice that it asks how much of the whole pan would each person receive. With this understanding, I would also have to section off the entire pan into fourths. Now, I can see how many sections are in my pan. I can focus on the 1/3 pan of brownies. When I count the total sections in my pan, I can see that there are 12. However, I need to know how much of the whole pan would each person receive. Each person would receive 1/12 of the entire pan of brownies. Furthermore, 1/3 divided by 4 is equal to 1/12. Now, if we look at our fraction bars, here is our 1/3. And we need to see when it is divided into 4 equal parts, what is each part? So, if we look at 4 1/8, we can see that that is too big. But when we put in our 1/12, we can see that they are equivalent. Therefore, 1/3 divided by 4 is equal to 1/12. Notice the focus of utilizing an area model and comparison between the fraction bars in this example. Using this visual and concrete approach is essential to the conceptual development of this standard. The physical drawing and division of the area model helps students grasp the idea of division and gain a deeper understanding of unit fractions by dividing whole numbers. As illustrated in this video, Standard NF7 calls for students to solve one-step word problems involving division of unit fractions by whole numbers using area and length models. In the standard discussed today, NF7, we divided a unit fraction by a whole number. We accomplished this division through the use of physical and visual models. In 6th grade, students will continue to use models to divide fractions. It is the expectation of this standard that as students use models to solve division problems involving two fractions, not just whole numbers, students understand that in order to find an answer, it is necessary to find a common unit. Through repetition and reasoning with models, students develop an algorithm of using common denominators when dividing fractions. Multiplying by the reciprocal is not the expectation of this standard and is not supported with understanding at this grade level.